I love the Springsteen song, One Step Up. You know, remember that? 1988, that album was A Tunnel of Love, wasn't it? You know, one of his biggest, but I like that song. Great song. But the next line is two steps back. And that's what just happened with this Epstein, dare I say it? I don't think it, but a lot seem to feel it. Have we arrived at dun 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 Epstein Gate? I hope not. I hope not. But if POTUS and his people keep trying to half step on Epstein in terms of disclosure and then distracting with other conspiracy fodder, they are accelerating the swings of extremism here. And I don't know that that works out well. The administration took the right step initially when Trump came out and said to his supporters, hey, enough with the deep rabbit hole of conspiracy stuff around Epstein. It's not there. Let's move forward. He doesn't matter. I respected that move away from the extreme, but he got backlash and he didn't like it. But so he today, or yesterday today, took a step towards transparency, asking a Manhattan federal judge to unseal the grand jury transcripts, I slow down for a reason, from the Jeffrey Epstein case. But remember, this isn't the only Epstein evidence that people want. So don't give them some, you know what I'm saying? The DOJ has documents that they have redacted or chose not to release to the public. Come correct, or it's going to seem as though you did nothing at all. No half-stepping. Which is why the House and Senate Republicans are refusing to legally demand Trump release Epstein documents. Now, to be fair, I think it's a BS move anyway. I don't think the House can force the executive to release things. I don't think it works like that. I think that you'd have to go through the DOJ. Put it to the side. They're half-stepping also, though, because either you believe in Epstein and then vote, but don't say you believe in Epstein but then not vote because you want to not piss off the president. Because this just showed, step back, okay, that you're bound to fealty to Trump instead of the populace, POTUS instead of the populace. That's swampy, okay? Now, I'm not sure if the next one is good or not good, okay? Trump is suing Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal. And it said pro se initially, which I thought was very interesting that the president was going to represent himself. But he isn't. He's going to have counsel. Anyway, he's suing them all $10 billion in damages. And not just on his own behalf, but on behalf of the American people to fight fake news. Now, I said last night, and I meant it, the Wall Street Journal bombshell report was absurd. And the idea that it's just the beginning, pro tip, I'm in journalism since the 90s, okay? No one leads a series with their worst reporting, okay? But I can't say it's a step up either doing this lawsuit, because unless we go to discovery, and I don't know that Mr. Trump wants to sit and answer questions, this feels a little bit like lawfare. And we're supposed to be getting away from that. He's supposed to be against that kind of move. But it's in between. So not a step up, not a step back. We'll call it a sidestep for now. Let's see how it works out, okay? But then did come a real step back. To counter extreme with doubling down on extreme is a mistake, okay? First, the president tried to blame all this Epstein stuff on the Democrats. Fell flat. The MAGA folk who are into this are so into it that that's absurd to them. They followed it too closely. And it also, you know, because his own people, we have years of them in multiple years on video selling the deepest of Epstein holes, okay? But it isn't that it's wrong, it's that, you know, or just that it's wrong. It also feels a little desperate, doesn't it? And that's a bad signal for people, right? So then the leaks flooded with chatter about Trump firing Jerome Powell. This is another extreme thing to play with, you know, the head of the Fed, over the renovation project. A dutiful MAGA member in the House referred him for prosecution. You know, a small thing maybe, but is that a lot of money? Were they straight with it with Congress? I don't know, but I also don't think it's tax dollars that are doing the renovations. I think it's Fed's own reserves. I gotta check that 100%, but I'm not sure that this is really something where Congress needs to be so hot and heavy right now, unless it's kind of a distraction. Though that said, my ample gut tells me Mr. Powell is a marked man. And again, targeting the Fed head is a bad look. And that message echoed back to the White House, I think, because once the reports came out, the markets tanked. And only then did Mr. Trump backpedal and say publicly he wasn't planning on firing Powell. You play with extremes. That's how you get to Epsteingate. And that's a worry with the next countermeasure. Coincidental to needing a distraction from Epstein, Fox News, of all ironies, Fox News breaks a story that is exactly what the administration needs to remind the MAGA fringe of why they love him. The deep state, Gabbard, DNI, out for former CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, two of the biggest boogeymen for MAGA, both now facing criminal investigations for their alleged wrongdoing in the Trump-Russia probe. Gabbard says they have documents that show there was a treasonous conspiracy in 2016 committed by officials at the highest level of our government. Wow. A federal official accusing of treason in an official statement. Think of that. It clearly echoes the calls of what MAGA wants from Epstein, right? But let's take a ginsu to this case. I hope you know what that is. A very sharp knife that doesn't last very long. What do the documents actually say? Just weeks after the 2016 election, the Obama administration found, quote, Russia didn't impact recent U.S. election results by conducting malicious cyber activities against election infrastructure. Key words, results and infrastructure, okay? Gabbard then claims Obama's team leaked fake reports to the media to hurt Trump before he became president, with headlines that U.S. officials believe that Russia wanted Trump to win the election. We're conflating two things here, okay? The reports that are cited don't say Russia hacked our election infrastructure. The reporting has always been that Russia hacked the DNC to try to help Trump. And to claim that, and all the Facebook stuff and all the propaganda that was put out, and that they were trying to interfere with our process, but not that they had affected the outcome, unless Gabbard has more documents and more things than I've seen or that I understand from that time covering it. And then you got to stay open. But even if she's right, this is grounds for treason. That really seems like extreme talk, okay? Because guess who also agreed with the Obama administration assessment that Russia wanted Trump to win the election? The Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee in 2020. And guess who was on that committee that signed off on that assessment? Trump's current Secretary of State and acting National Security Advisor, Marco Rubio. So is it really treasonous? Now, do I think there are lessons to learn from Russiagate? 100%. I wish I could go back knowing what I know now. But live and learn. Life isn't lived like that. Life is lived forward. And absent more than what I saw come out today, I don't think the administration is well served by playing gotcha with Epsteingate in the air, right? Between that and ICE antics and all the other dramas available, I think they should stick to meat and potatoes issues and not play these kinds of games. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.